the circuit is continuous, wire and things like that. So it gives that sound. It displays some value, and it has a key kind of sound. So that is fine. So so first I tried to strip this wire. Unfortunately, my wire stripper, the minimum is 0.75 mm, and even that was too big for this wire. So I could not strip this wire.
You can use a
But
blade.
yeah, just use a blade and do it, right?
Yeah.
No, after the last time funda of, don't lose strands, I was over too conservative. I will do that. But even little bit is coming out. So when I tried to do the discontinuity thing, so what I did was I checked that this thermostat itself is working fine. So I did the continuity across this, which worked. Then I tried to do the continuity across the entire thing, going through the coil, and it said that basically it was not it is discontinuous. Of course, it could be one of these wires. I need to check all of.
If you are measuring across the two terminals, I mean the input two wires, you won't be getting any continuity. So it's better if you can check with the resistance, then you can identify that.
But why won't I get continuity? Shouldn't I get continuity through the coil?
No, actually there will be some resistance. If there's any resistance, the continuity won't be functioning as expected.
Oh, continuity works only if the resistance is very low, is it?
Yeah, when it's negligible.
Oh, when it is negligible. Okay, so I must look for a resistance value across this to determine whether it is.
You can just toggle to that resistance in that multimeter, and you can just check with the resistance.
Okay. So it's not moved at all. So it was one, right? So it
okay. So there is no continuity, I guess.
Go there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So maybe then nothing can be done maybe for this.
Continuity check is usually a very low ohms check, low resistance value check. And typically it should be below about 40-50 ohms is when you will hear the beep. Okay. Anything above that, if you don't hear a beep, it says that it is not having a continuity, but it may have a resistance like what Girish was telling you. Not Girish, sorry, Nikhil. So if you want to check the resistance, what you should probably do is you look at your meter, like what Bharat was asking you. You go to the highest range and start. So let us say there is a megohm range, 2 meg, and if you still don't see a reading or you see a very small reading, then you can reduce the range and come a little lower so you can know the actual value.
Okay.
But a caution, when you're using the 2 megohm range, you should not touch the probes with your hand. That means the metal probes, you should not touch them with your hands. Otherwise, you will measure your body resistance.
While I will not be using this after both of you have advised me, I am not able to see whatever heating pad you get on the market. I don't see any of them much better than this. Basically, it's a pad like this. And I mean, it looks more scary now because I've removed this sponge, which I don't think is a big insulator anyhow. So, and it comes in this kind of a plastic cover. So I'm just wondering, so are you saying that in general, it's not a good idea to use any such pad?
No. I think the heater per se heating pad per se is a good concept. Okay. But if it goes bad for whatever reason, and if the defect is within the heating pad, it is best not to touch it. If the defect is behind it, let's say in the little controller, possibly you can fix it.
The heating element is exposed or it is sealed?
No, it is not exposed, sir. It is under this fabric.
No. Below that?
Below that, it seems to be exposed to me.
Then no point.
It seems to be just a copper thing to me. Yeah.
Tube or it's an element?
I don't think it is in a tube because it doesn't feel like that at all. I think it is just a bare wire.
We can also figure out some other way of transporting that device. Just hold on to it, Vishnuji. Don't consign it to the garbage.
This is not working. In that video, they asked to check whether wire is working. I'm not able to make out which wire, what to check. This is my first time, so please guide me.
You have the continuity tester, ma'am, or?
Continuity test. I
or
don't
any
know that
multimeter?
also. So
No,
Yeah,
this is the
multimeter is
Okay,
fine.
she has a
that-
multimeter. It's okay.
Okay, this is the multimeter I have.
Yeah, now turn the arrow to the speaker you can see over there. Can you please turn it towards the right, the center dial, the center dial. The other way, other way, other way, other way. Okay, fine. Yeah,
Now it is
go,
off.
keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. Yes, now touch both the red and the black together, red and black together.
Okay.
There is on your meter, the yellow box that you have, there are two wires connected, right? It's called a probe.
Yes.
So I think you're holding them in your hand now, right?
Huh.
So the black
Yeah.
one and the red one have got a metal exposed bit. That
Yes.
metal exposed bit of the red and the black you just touch from using your hands. That means on one left hand you have, say, the black one, on the right hand you have the red one. Just touch the metal exposed portion with the on the of both the probes. Just touch with both the probes. So
With
if you
my
could
hand,
show
that's it.
show us your hands while you're touching the probe, it will give us an idea how
Yeah.
you're holding the probes.
Like this.
Take your finger back a little bit on the red part. Ah, that's
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, yeah, you're holding it there. Hold the black one also in the other hand now.
Okay.
Okay, now you get your hands close to each other so that the probe, the metal part of the red one and the metal part of the black one touch each other. Do you hear
Can
any
you hear?
beep on the meter?
No.
Confirm that she's actually in the continuity mode or the beep mode, because I'm not seeing any additional display on the
She
meter.
is
Yeah,
in the continuous
yeah,
mode,
yeah.
sir.
No, on the display, meter display, you should see a speaker symbol and a display. It's not there.
Jitendra,
No, that this meter will show as one only.
Just Nandini, what you do is move that dial little bit left, right. Maybe it's not contacting properly. Just
Can you do
slightly,
one step
slightly.
anti-clockwise? One step anti-clockwise. One step
Yeah.
anti-clockwise.
Can
Yeah.
I request?
Now try.
Okay, just 1 second. Can I request coaches to go one by one?
Nandini, let it be on the table itself. You just shift it.
Like this.
Just little bit shift it. Yeah. Just let
Yeah.
it be on the table.
It is in the correct mode. It is in correct.
Okay, this
Just to
multimeter is
consider-
not working.
Yeah, just for the consideration, there's a battery inside a multimeter also. If the battery is weak or if it is out of charge, you might not hear a sound.
Okay, you can shift it to the other position and try, please. This dial, yeah, just move it slightly this way, that way. It is in the correct position actually, but I really.
And now you can just hold the probe in your hand. Maybe you can see the resistance if it is working or not.
It should become 0, I think. No, this is in the diode part. So can you please move the thing to the resistance part where it says 20K, 2000K, somewhere there, and just move the dial there. Left, yeah. Now try it.
Now it is 2000.
Okay, now touch the two probes.
With your hand.
Or anyway, it doesn't matter. Something. Let's see if it shows. It's not doing anything.
Start your troubleshooting from replacing the battery of the.
Nandini, do you have a pair of batteries or a battery to replace?
Unfortunately, this will be a 9-volt battery, which I don't think anybody will have.
Okay.
But that is easily available in market. I mean,
If Nandini can, get that multimeter to work, or I don't know, if you can switch it on and off, maybe there's a faulty, the dial maybe little some loose connection inside or something like that. I don't know. Is that a possibility? Why is it showing one? I mean, if there is no power in the battery, it should not even show one, right?
actually,
there's
what
just
happens is,
enough power.
there's some reference voltage, which I mean, the main battery that is as a reference. So if that doesn't give that required voltage, all the readings will be like above and below, like beyond.
But they are all the same, exact same. I have the exact same one. They are all exactly the same inside also.
Depends. Control C, Control V. They'll do all the same thing. Inside circuit will remain the same.
yeah.
So I think you can try the continuity test, Nandini, whether it's beeping. It's doing something.
Or else, I would suggest, ma'am, you can go for that. You can see that 750V in a red line, right? Just check your voltage at your home, maybe.
Nandini, you just disconnect the black probe completely, pull out the wire. Okay. Now, where the black probe was, you stick that red probe bit, that metal part. No, don't
No, no, no.
don't remove it. Put it back. Put it back where it was. Take the metal thing and poke it into the where the black thing was inside. Yeah. Does it give any sound? No sound, but it changes something over there. I have a feeling the battery is gone. That's
Mohan, just 1 second. Can you repeat the test with the black probe also?
do the same thing, Nandini.
It's
You remove the
beeping.
red completely. Yeah, remove the red thing completely.
She's
Put
saying
the
it is beeping.
oh, it was beeping.
Yes, yes, it was
Oh,
beeping.
so you try it with the black one now. Try it with the same thing with the black one.
Here or here?
You can do anywhere, but put it in the COM. COM. It says COM now. Stick it into where the red was, where the red probe you took out. Does it beep now?
Not beeping, but sometimes.
Some sound you can hear, right? At least because there's some reading, it is fluctuating.
Some sound came.
No, Nandini, if you could just move the wire a little bit. Yeah, okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
So there is a good chance that the black wire is defective. Is it an old multimeter or a new one?
Old one. We have not
Okay.
used it for quite some time, so.
Okay.
Not
What you
sure
can do
whether it
is,
working.
Nandini, one more test. Move the black wire to where the red was. Pull it out and put it in the red thing. Maybe that, and now put it in the red one, the metal part, and check. I think maybe it's, corrosion or whatever.
So here I have to insert.
Yeah. Try that, the metal part. Is it beeping?
Yes.
I have a feeling corrosion or loose contact inside somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. It's beeping now. I can hear it.
Yeah.
So there is some loose contact. I think you need to, twist the wire red, black, and make it remove the corrosion. Maybe it will work better. I think battery also may be down. If it has not been
Okay.
replaced for some time,
Okay.
battery voltage might have gone down. So there also you can remove the contacts and clean it nicely. Put it back, insert it, remove it 3-4 times and try. Maybe it will work for a couple of months.
So I have a laptop, okay, a Dell Inspiron like 15R. So it is quite 10 years back. The first problem what I noticed is like there was a display issue. Like suddenly the screen will go off and it will switch off. So I have taken to the some repair shop, and they told something there is an issue in the hardware, and they done some modification. I don't know, like they told something they bypassed the graphic card. I am not aware of that. Instead of direct graphic card, they use an existing processor display itself, graphics adapter, instead of using the direct adapter, graphics adapter. So it was a kind of solved, but still I have problem. Like I'll show the problem. What exactly the problem? Yeah, as you can see below, right? Display driver stopped responding and has recovered. This frequently comes, okay, and sometimes it works very well. Now it's working very well. Initially the startup, or suddenly it comes, this screen comes and it pops up, and suddenly the black screen comes. Again it comes many times it comes, and there are cases my laptop hangs and shut down, like completely hangs, and I'm forced to restart my laptop.
You gave it to a service guy and he bypassed something. I mean, did he give any better explanation, or
No.
what was the actual explanation given by him?
No, actually, did not give any better explanation. What he told is whatever the graphics driver you have, right? A driver card you have, right? He has bypassed that, and he used like whatever the CPU is having the default driver, right? He has used it.
And
That's what the explanation he gave, and I was not able to understand more from the hardware side.
is there any sticker on top of the laptop like NVIDIA?
Oh, like
or something
that?
like that?
Nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Two outputs for video, like for your screen there'll be two kind of output. If you have a dedicated graphics card, you'll be having two output. So usually in graphic card laptops, the output will be taken via graphic card. If there's no graphic card, it will be taken from the processor output only. I mean, we usually cannot make it out.
Girish, what you do is your laptop is a Dell, right? So you will have a service tag. Okay.
Correct.
So go to Dell site, insert your service tag, and read out and copy the product, whatever features there are.
Okay, it is
And yeah, right now you will not be able to see the
it's integrated graphics. Okay,
yeah.
I'm
what he meant is no. I mean, what this guy meant is maybe you might have had some issue in the motherboard. So usually,
okay.
while doing this chip level designing and all, that is the same thing we do. Like if we don't find that suitable capacitor which is blown out, we'll just remove that and we'll just let it go because we want to. It's not restricted to that guy only. I mean, everyone does the same thing because it's hard to find that exact component. Maybe that might be giving you a glitch, right? Or else, if you think you had a graphic card pre-installed, because
Nikhil, I have one question for you. I think you are right actually. This is what he told actually. Maybe I didn't understand. So you're telling there is a motherboard, whatever you have by default, there is something in motherboard, right? And other one is additionally. So he has disabled the additional one and bypassed it and directly using this one, right? You mean to say that one?
yeah, actually, if you had a graphic card, he has maybe like if he has bypassed, that means there's a signal which is lost in that. So right now, I mean, what I can see from the screen right now, it refers to that you don't have a graphic card right now.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
we have to like take a look inside the motherboard. What
Nikhil, nothing much is required right now. What I can suggest is go to the service tag and find out what was. It will tell you because you went to Dell or you went to a third party fellow.
Is a third party.
Okay, so in the Dell website, your original specification for this will be there. Okay, so take a take a screenshot of that. It will tell you exactly how the build was at that time when you bought it. So that screenshot will help us just know what was there. But right now, whatever this is, it is not a hardware problem. I have a feeling this battery management system has not worked very well or something because it has allowed the battery to get overcharged. So it has swollen up. That is one big problem that I noticed. Lithium polymer or lithium ion battery. So you'll get that if you go to SP Road or any place, you get that. I've seen one of those. So it doesn't matter which one you put there. You can put a 18650 cell also. It should work fine. But it all depends on whether your solar cell. And what I can see is this is a typical
so Mr.
problem.
There is not just a battery. There is some kind of electronics also on one side.
Yeah, so that's a battery management system.
Okay, so are you saying that if I purchase another lithium polymer and something, it will come with the battery management system?
When you buy that, you please buy one with battery management system. So first put it in the voltage.
I put in the voltage section, and where should I put it? 200.
Start with 20. I think that should be fine. 20.
Okay. Oh, that's not DC. That's AC. Okay. So
20 should be fine.
20 should be good.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, so here one, and I think here the other one. Very weak. Very weak. Almost nothing. Minus 0.01.
So I think you need to change your battery, or you can probably try, but if it has gone below, I don't think your battery management unit is going to allow you to charge it. So anyway, you need to buy the whole.
So when I get a battery with the battery management system, do I have to be particular about the plus and minus where I solder
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
I have to be. Okay. So the convention is what? The convention is red is.
So what you do is you buy a battery with a battery management system and a connector with the cable. So it will come with a red and black. So you connect the black to black and red to red and be done with it. So makes your life.
To answer the last question, red is positive, black is negative always. Okay. And finally, I mean, you can also do one not so good trick, but you could take, say, a 3-volt battery, 2 penlight cells or whatever you have at home, disconnect this existing red and black fellow.
Yeah.
And just connect a plus to that side and the minus to the side. The LED should come on.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, that's that way I can check what's happening.
Okay, you can just have 2 small batteries to do it. It may not be as bright as it was because typically these lithium cells should be around 4.5 or something like that.
Correct,
You can at least check if the LEDs are good, which I think, like what Bharat was saying, it's very unlikely the LEDs are gone. Very, very unlikely. I'm guessing you also have a brightness setting. You may have a level setting or something.
Yes, there is a brightness setting. So imagine they're in parallel, right?
Let's say you want a low brightness, one of them will be on, and medium brightness 2 will be on, and high brightness 3 or something like that.
So that means they have to be in parallel, right? Otherwise, how will it?
No, you need to control them independently. Okay.
Okay. Only one of them. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not that one is lighting, 2 is lighting, 3 is lighting. It's not
right.
like that.
Yeah. So that is one way. Okay. That is one way. The other way is like what you are saying. You can put them in parallel, and you can reduce the amount of voltage going in, so that you can control the overall brightness. There are two ways of doing it.
Okay.
So you can do that, and possibly if you can locate the right adapter, it should still work with an adapter.
Okay.
So any adapter with 3.3 volts or up to about 5 volts, I would think is a safe risk to take. 5 volts, but 3 volts is safe. So you can always try it with the battery and get going.
And does he have to keep this in the sun for some time to charge up the solar cells?
I mean, if the solar panel is still good, yeah, you can do that. You can do a very, very rough check by pointing this solar to a good light source within the room. Pretty close it should be. And you can just check with the meter if there is a change in the voltage. If there's a slight increase, there is a reasonably good chance it's okay.
Okay. I'll check that also then. Fine.
Yeah.
Thing I can. So one thing is definitely the battery needs to be replaced. So I'll try to get one. And even before that, I will put maybe, 2 1.5 volt batteries, whatever, remove this and check if the LED lights up. And to check whether the solar panel is working. Yeah, I think the solar panel is coming out. I can make out where it is coming out. So I can check. I can put the multimeter leads, the probes, before I have a light source on it, and then with a light source, and I should see some change. Yes, sir.
From the solar panel, after keeping it in sun for some time, you can check with the meter whether the voltage is coming down. That means your solar panel ruled out that it is working on.
Okay.
You need not worry about plus to minus change when you check the LED.
Yeah. Correct.
Basically, they are diodes, so it will prevent the voltage.
In one direction it will not go. Yeah.
It looks like one light is lighted. LED. Is it? That
no,
right side
it's not lighted.
Okay.
1 second.
Or it's a reflection.
No, it must be the reflection in the thing. No, it's not lighted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we then quickly take one more discussion with Nandini? If there are any other further queries, if you can write into us after you do the steps that have been suggested.
Okay.
Yeah.
That multimeter is not working. I think battery has gone down. It's not displaying properly now. So I don't know what to do about it.
1 second. Can everybody see Nandini's screen?
Yeah. Can you lift up the battery and show us?
No, it's not displaying now. I think battery has gone down.
No. Only you've taken out the battery.
No, I removed this. I put it back actually. That battery, and after that I fixed it back, and now it is not displaying anything. So I think I'll replace it, or I replace the battery.
Yes, well, report. Yeah, and you need not put I would suggest you go for a cheap Nippo for 25-30 rupees instead of, I just saw Duracell. Actually, I bought it for some reason. It's around $200. So I think your multimeter costs $100 or something, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was
$100. I remember because I bought it for that. So that battery, you need not buy a very costly one. I think Nippo or something 30 or 25 rupees. I think that will go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you have a green wire, red wire, and black, and there is a switch on the left side. I think that's a master switch. That switch. which wire is connected? Black, no? Okay. The black is connected. Now what you can do, till the test is completed, don't plug it. Once you have a multimeter, touch these two terminal, black where it is soldered and the other wire, and check up whether continuity is there by rocking the switch. That will show you whether switch is all right or not.
I had to check.
You are eliminating one by one.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now the black is soldered to one terminal in the switch. You touch the other bottom terminal, yeah, and see whether continuity is there by switching it off.
Okay.
But don't plug it.
Okay.
Once that comes, it will show that your switch is all right.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have a fuse?
This is what is there.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is the
that red
switch.
color is the fuse. Can you remove that? Turn it anti-clockwise.
Oh, this is the fuse.
Yeah, I think that fuse has gone.
Okay.
It looks black.
In that
So
video,
what
that
you can
mentioned
do?
check the fuse, but I didn't know it is inside this. Okay.
Okay. Now you don't have to do any repair. Temporarily connect it with a thin wire. The two metal portion,
This
insert
one.
it and switch on. I think it should work.
I didn't get. Sorry.
See, there are two terminals. Inside wire is burnt. That means there was a short circuit.
Okay.
Sir, shouldn't
Now
Bharat
what
sir,
where should I insert the wire?
shouldn't she get a new fuse?
Is it marked what amperage it is?
Yeah, it says on the
Is
fuse.
it 5 amps?
5.
5 amps.
Okay, get a 5 amps fuse.
Okay. Can I get it online? Is it available?
And get it, but you unnecessarily pay. Any electrical shop will have a fuse. If you take the fuse and show them, because if you get it online, the dimension is important.
Okay.
Yeah, better to give it to the electrical shop and buy. It's generally available.
Okay.
The one thing is, since the fuse is gone, it is better to check your full extension box. Somewhere something is shorted.
So 3 wires are coming, one to this.
Yeah,
one
they're
to
all
this, and
common, no?
yeah, and from here, those wires are not there, but this is getting continued. This metal, sorry, this metal strip.
It's very simple. 2 wires, one wire coming through switch will be fixed or soldered to one side, similar to all these sockets.
Okay.
And the other wire will be continuously connected.
Okay.
There won't be any confusion. Once you get the meter, check up each wire. You can check up whether the continuity is all right. And I have a feeling somebody has used it for a overcapacity, and that's why the fuse has gone. Anyway, you can do this checkup. Do you see any black mark on any of the plugs? Burnt mark?
Yeah, I think this one.
Can you show us the front of the thing, where the point? Can you turn it to the front?
Yeah, I think it is. They have used something over capacity.
Okay.
It's not able to withstand the current.
This thing is also come.
Actually, if that is burnt, you have to desolder those 2 wires and don't use that plug.
This plug should not be used.
That should not be used, and you can desolder it or completely cut it off. I mean, this is more for repairing stage to get an idea of how to repair, but I won't recommend
using
any burnt plug. If accidentally somebody else uses, will be a problem.
Yeah.
Quality of this, right?
Right.
Black wire. And then, yeah, I understood that much.
The first thing to do is to get your multimeter up and running. So let's get the battery changed. Okay, and then
Okay.
put in a new battery. And don't go for these fancy batteries, because in most cases it is recommended not to use these fancy batteries, which everybody claims all batteries are leak proof. Unfortunately, none of them are. They will leak
Okay.
at some point in time or the other.
Mhm.
So you can buy one of those, more cost-effective solution batteries. They are usually not very easy to get, but pick up those batteries and then use it for your multimeter.
Duracell is okay, Jitendra.
Yeah, no, but even they also leak, Bharat sir. I've had experience with all of them, including these button cells. Change the battery, just reconfirm that you connect the probes in the right manner with the black one at the bottom, the red one in the middle, and then the meter in the continuity mode. Touch both the probes, the black probe and the red probe, the metal tips. You should hear that beep.
Okay.
So once the beep is there, it's good to check for continuity. The continuity just checks the connection between one point to the other. That means if there's a long wire, one end of the wire is coming all the way to the other side. It's like saying
Okay.
like a water pipe. Okay, when you send water through the pipe, if the pipe is not broken, the water will come out on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we use it for. Okay.
That is what continuity. Okay.
What I observed in this discussion was the plug and socket were being interchangeably used. They are two very different, devices. The plug is what you saw at one end of the wire, which goes into the wall. So it's got 3 pins on it. Okay. So once your meter is okay and in the continuity mode, for example, you will take the black probe, hold it against one of the plugs, pins. Okay, there are 3 pins there. You hold it against one pin and take the other end of the probe and touch the wires that are coming from the just entering into the extension box.
Okay.
We form this gray colored wire, and out of it 3 wires come out: a black, a red, and a green.
Yes.
Yeah. So wherever there's an exposed part on the extension box, you touch the red end there and check where is the connection coming correctly or not. So ideally, you should see the red connection. There will be a red connection on the plug pin marked as L, which is called live. The black will usually be connected to the other side, which is called N, neutral, and the green would be connected to the fat pin.
Okay.
So if the continuity is there on all the 3, you can also, just to be on the safe side, check between the 2 plug points. If on the plug point, you can check between live and neutral with your multimeter. If there is no continuity, which it should not be there, then the plug is good or the cable is good.
Okay.
Okay. Similarly, just do one final test. Line to earth, which is the green fat pin, neutral to earth, which is the green fat pin. There should not be any continuity there. Purna said you don't want the electrical shop guy to say, hey, you need to put in a new wire. And you can say, look, I know the wire is good, don't change it. Or for sure only the fuse is gone. Or for sure that something has burnt, and then possibly we can decide what to do with it. Okay, so at least you will know that this guy will not tell you the wrong thing and try to take your money away.
So there's been a lot of instructions flowing over here, and it will be really overwhelming for anyone. So first of all, for the coaches, I have to say that if you have more than 3 lines to say, please type it out in the notes or something, so that somebody can someone can refer back to it. So that's one. Secondly, we are recording the session, so we'll be able to share. So that's for Nandini. Don't worry if you are forgetting some part of it. We'll record it and you can ask for it, and we'll share with you that portion, so you can go over it again and take the steps as you like.
You have a air cooler, right? Maybe I can see the air itself. The Bajaj 2008. Yeah, I'll start.
Yeah.
So as you see here, this is a Bajaj air cooler. I took 5 years back. It was working perfectly fine. Recently, I noticed that it has some kind of noise inside. It develops some kind of noise, and also the fan, right, the left to right, something like you have here inside. It turns left and right. That stopped working. So I suspect some motor or something might have gone there. So what I feel is I myself I have basic little bit of electrical knowledge. So I want to open up this and just correct the problem. So that is my third problem. Basically self-service. Yeah, swing. It's working. The swinging is not working.
Swing is not working. Okay.
To tell you the truth, I have not seen this kind of thing, but I suspect there is a gear inside which controls the swinging. So that is either out of place or it is broken. So this is basically a mechanical problem. So you will have to open that place where it is doing that swinging. So it is connected to the fan motor by some sort of a worm gear, and that is what makes it oscillate. So that part is, see, mostly it is made out of metal, so quite strong. It would have gone out of, those gears have to touch each other. Maybe it's gone out of the thing and it is not connected to the other gear. That is usually what it is gone out of the position. Maybe there is some plastic is holding or something, or something has worn out, something of that sort. So unless you open it up and see what it is, I really don't know
See,
what else to
actually,
say.
if I was to hazard a guess here, Girish, I can see your fins. They are not all pointing in the same direction, are they?
No, actually you can see inside, right?
Yeah.
Inside should turn left and right actually. See, anyhow the fan, you have air blowing out, right?
No, but are the vertical fins, they are pointing in all in the same direction like the horizontal fins?
No, as of now it is tilted one side because the motor is not working, right? Since the motor is not working, it is not going. It is tilted to one side and it's stuck there. So if the motor starts working, it will go left and right.
So no, so one thing is that it's stuck in one place, but
Yeah.
all the fins should be parallel to each other. Otherwise, there is actually one like a plastic rod which connects all of those together,
Okay.
which connects to the motor. So if it is slipped out of that hole, then also such a problem can happen. Because I don't know if I can't really make out, are the fins pointing in the same direction, all of them parallel? Are
Yeah,
they parallel?
yeah, all are pointing same direction.
The vertical ones are pointing in the same direction.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Can you just move that fan this way, that way? They are all fine.
The one that is supposed to oscillate, don't move it now, because like you said, there is some noise you could hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if this air cooler has got a function to switch off the oscillation.
Okay.
So if you have if you have that option, then switch off the oscillation and run the cooler. It is to confirm that the basic blower motor is fine. There is a possibility there could be another motor, or like Mohan said, there could be a gear mechanism from the existing motor. But if you can switch it off, that the oscillation mode, if you can switch it off, it will probably help you come close to what is the real problem. In general, no, any of these mechanical gadgets, you sort of gently move it. If it doesn't move, just let it be. Don't force it.
Anyhow, I have to service, right? I'll open it and clean it. Can it have double motor? I'm just thinking out of.
Two buttons, right? There's a knob, a small knob and a big one. What are those knobs for? One of them is for the speed control. The other one is for oscillation or not?
Yeah. So one is for like as you told, one is for fan, and other one is a swing actually.
Swing. Okay. Is it easy to turn that button? Is it very easy? Okay. So I am guessing that this could be electronic. That means there could be a motor or something else which is enabling the oscillation.
Okay.
Okay. Typically, in the old days, you used to have the other fan where you had to use a lever and push it to oscillate.
Correct.
So it is very strong and not very easy like this, the way you turned it. You turned it very easily. So I'm thinking that there could be electrical connection. Maybe it's a second motor or something.
Okay.
What is happening over the last 10, 15 years, the cost of motors is coming down so much, and the ability to manufacture good motors is really, really good. So if you see, it's very difficult to find a car today without automatic windows going up and down by motors.
Yeah.
Okay, so they become so common, and because of the low cost.
Okay, so I guess we can close the session for today, and thanks a lot, Girish and Nandini, you are there till the end, and thanks to the coaches who are there as well.